Hi, it's John. On day 28, I got to the charming town of Poitiers. It was 425 kilometers from Paris, so I was more than halfway on my walk to Bordeaux. Here it is on my map of the GR655. My post-COVID project in the spring of 2023 was to walk across France on an old pilgrimage route. I had walked into Poitiers the day before along an old Roman road. Poitiers had once had an enormous Roman arena that had seen better days. The baptistry was another Roman building, this one in much better shape, and dating from the 4th century of our era. It is one of the oldest Christian buildings in France. Next door was Poitiers Cathedral. It was commissioned about 800 years ago by Poitiers' most famous couple, Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine. Henry was the King of England that got rid of Thomas a Becket. Eleanor came from here, and when he married her, he got all her land. Eleanor had married King Louis of France, but then she dumped him and married Henry, who was Louis's worst nightmare. The power couple commissioned this stained glass for their church. And it's some of the oldest stained glass in France, like the stained glass I saw in Chartres. Way back when I passed through Chartres on day 7, I pointed out this sculpture of a queen between two kings. Some people believe it's the face of Eleanor between her two husbands. Maybe she saw this window in Chartres and said she wanted one like it for her new church. I can't leave the cathedral without showing these sculptures from the 1600s. The man in the middle is a very fierce-looking St. Peter holding the keys, and the saint in the seashell hat is James, the saint of my pilgrim trail. Notre-Dame-la-Grande is Poitiers' most famous building, and it's one of the most beautiful Romanesque churches of France. It's older than the cathedral, and full disclosure, I love this style of church, and I especially love the way they decorated it. This was done during Eleanor's time. This was Eleanor's palace, and there is a story that she and her daughter created a court of love in its great hall. A monk wrote a contemporary book about it, recording 22 cases. One of them was, could true love exist in a marriage? Eleanor the divorcee had some experience, and not only that, later in life, she was imprisoned by her second husband for 16 years. She outlived him and was released by her favorite son, Richard the Lionhearted. This is the main entrance to the palace, and I left it to return to my gîte for dinner on my last night in the city. Walking past different points of interest, I walked straight into a big demonstration. The whole country was mad at President Macron for his pension reform. I had seen the garbage strike in Paris on day 1 of my walk, and I would see the tail end of a demo in Bordeaux at the very end of my walk.
Camarades, libérez nos camarades, libérez nos camarades, libérez nos...
In order to get home to dinner at my gîte, I had to walk around the riot control. It was dinner for 5, and Jacqueline, the volunteer in charge of the gîte, really looked after us well. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye from Poitiers. Up next, the 50 kilometers I walked to the beautiful little town of Melle.